get on into your tornado safe place as this thing rolls on through here. Remember, radar indications are sometimes the precursors to actual rotations or some kind of tornado activity. Haven't seen that yet. We do have the rotation part. Again, it's bringing right around Allison. I think within 15 minutes it's going to sweep off to the east into western Oklahoma and outside of our area. But right now, tornado warning right there around Allison. Let's back it up, Kevin, if you don't mind. The reflectivity will just kind of show the severe squall that's come across Canadian, come across Lipscomb and Glacier. Heavy rain and some hail. This is also moving east pretty rapidly. Higgins getting some pretty heavy rainfall. It's cleared Canadian, pretty much cleared Highway 83, but nearing the Oklahoma line. Again, right there around Allison, rotation, tornado warning. I'll be back here at 4 o'clock in just a few minutes. I'll have the latest on that. And be sure to catch us here in just a few minutes for an update. Folks around Allison, we're watching for you. Southeast at 25. 1, 2, 3. Checking that out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, we're getting ready for a 4 o'clock cut in, and we'll go from there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to stop this now. Don't worry, man. Hey friends, Doppler Dave here in your First Alert weather team. Kevin Selly here helping out. We're keeping tabs on another First Alert situation that'll last on into the evening, and by the way, probably tomorrow also. As of our latest concern is this new tornado warning. I was on just a few moments ago. Radar indicated rotation around Allison. We have a tornado warning until 4:30. It's going to get the southeastern corner of Hemphill County, the northeastern corner of Wheeler County. We also have a concurrent severe thunderstorm warning in effect for some large hail too. Now here's the radar from Allison up to Jim. That's where we have the likelihood of some large hail, some golf balls, would not surprise me. But also it's right here around Allison. You notice the red versus the green right there. That's where we have the rotation. If you've been watching us here the last several weeks, you know that when we get that red against green there, indicates a circulation or rotation within the thunderstorm. Sometimes that's kind of the first signs of a developing tornado. This is radar indicated. We have not had confirmation. We haven't had visual confirmation or anybody reporting an actual tornado, but it is enough, especially with the history of what we've tracked here recently, that when we get any kind of sign of tornado, we're going to send people to their safe places. So folks around Allison certainly, and then out towards the state line, this is a situation where you need to act and go ahead and use your tornado precautions, use that safety plan. As we take a look at this storm and kind of zoom out just a little bit, it's that same cluster that's come across the northern part of the area. It has produced intermittent hail. This is the first tornado warning we've had of the day. Here's a new storm developing back down to the west of Shamrock. I'm going to see if Kevin will zoom in on that, if you don't mind. This is kind of new, right there on I-40. Looks like it's coming out of McLean over towards Leela, pretty much on I-40. This is one that we'll keep an eye on. It's not rotating or anything, but that might be the next storm that gives us severe potential. Again, McLean, nearing Shamrock. Those will be some moderate to heavy thunderstorms. It's up there around Allison that we have that one tornado warning. It's radar indicated. I think that's going to move on over into western Oklahoma. We're going to, we're starting to see this little hook develop there around McLean. So we're going to watch that one very carefully. No tornado warning there, but folks around McLean and then out towards Leland, Shamrock, please be on standby. We'll be back with updates, and of course, we got the news at 5. We'll be on before then, and we're streaming live, so make sure you check in if you're in the line of these storms. First alert day, we're keeping you posted. So yeah, I mean, this is going out.
Okay, Kevin Selley, continuing here in the Weather Center, just since we have this tornado warning, which is officially in effect until 4:30, we're going to stick with it and stick with you on the stream as this rotation area, possible tornadoes heading for Allison. I don't think that we'll go all the way to 4:30, but again, we'll stay with you. We've got a half an hour left on this, but it's moving pretty quickly onto the east and southeast. It should get across the border into western Oklahoma pretty quickly. So we'll just spend some time visiting with you in Allison, though. Let me zoom in on this and get back to just the single reflectivity display so you can see it on the map. So obviously we're talking about the red box and the tornado. That rotation is right over Allison right now. If you know anybody there, if you've been watching the stream, let them know immediately. There is no time left on this one. You want to be in your safe place, and that's obviously a tornado shelter if you have one. If you have a basement, that's the place to go as well. If not, you can absolutely get through a tornado just by getting toward the center of your house. The idea is to put as many walls between you and the outside as you can. That would slow down any blowing debris. A small room has more structural integrity. There's more things, more 2x4s and walls holding up the ceiling above you. So small room toward the center of the house, like a bathroom, hallway, closet with no windows in it. Get something to cover up your head. Helmets are great, bicycle helmet, football helmet, something like that. If you don't have any helmets handy, just grab a couple of pillows or cushions off the sofa and go right to that center area in the house. We'll keep you posted and let you know when Allison is in the clear, but it's probably going to be another 5 to 10 to maybe 15 minutes at the outside. So here's the motion. We're obviously looking at that area of purple there, and I'm going to
rotation 4 southeast of Allison.
Rotation 4 miles southeast of Allison?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So that looks like it's now just getting to the...
Moving southeast 25.
Okay, moving at 25 miles per hour. Thank you, Dave. It looks as though the main rotation has moved past the center of Allison. So if you're east, southeast, or south, you want to stay in your safe place. If you've gone there right in Allison, let's give it another 5 minutes and we'll give you the all clear. But it's moving, as I mentioned, pretty quickly. Dave said 25 miles per hour to the southeast. So that should put it away from Allison in a couple of minutes, and then it'll move across the border on into Oklahoma. So we're continuing to watch the National Weather Service chat, and that's a new update from them. It's moving over Allison and now moving southeast of the city, which is what we just said. So let me zoom in a little further, get you an idea of what we're looking at here. Okay, the purple area is also hail. We measure this in what's called DBZs, and when you get above a 60 DBZ, you can talk about some hail. I've seen a pixel here shortly, just a minute or two ago, of 78.5, which indicates very, very large hail. Now, the exact dBz number doesn't always yield the same thing. We can talk about how much moisture is in the atmosphere, how much water, how much melting as it comes down, but a 78 dBz would certainly suggest the potential for tennis ball size hail, or maybe even a little bit larger. Again, moving in a southeasterly direction now over Allison and away from that area and heading for the county border. Just since we're kind of on the stream here, let me step through these and you can kind of see the darker purple colors that pop up right there just north of Allison. Those are those high dBz levels, and that is damaging hail that's going right through town and on the north and now east side of town. Let me back out a little bit, check our other storm that we were looking at. I'm kind of doing this in real time. That other one is not severe at this point, right over McLean. Is it McLean or McLean?
McLean.
McLean.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. That's right over Interstate 40. So anybody coming west rather from Shamrock, you don't want to do that. You're going to hit some blinding rain and some hail, maybe up to golf ball size, probably easily some dime and nickel size hail, maybe some quarter size hailstones in that. So let's run the animation there. And you can see that is now right over the highway and now south of the highway as well. So if I pan up a little bit, that's going to be right on that road network that is south of McLean, south of Shamrock, and we'll be moving across the county border in just a couple of minutes. Report on the National Weather Service chat. Talking about a lowering near Mobeetie. Help me out, Dave. Mobeetie?
Yeah.
Location on that?
Okay. Just somebody seeing a lowering, but no tornado.
Yeah, where is that?
They're looking from Mobeetie, which is back into Wheeler County.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's good news. What we're seeing is an indication, this is reporting to the National Weather Service, an indication that there's a lowering on that. A lowering does not necessarily mean a tornado. Usually you'll get the cloud base, and then the lowering is a wall cloud. We watch for that to persist and to rotate. From the wall cloud comes the funnel, and if the funnel reaches the ground, then of course it would be the tornado. So in this case, we don't see the funnel or the tornado, but we watch obviously very carefully the lowering or the wall cloud. So give it a few more minutes on this storm near Allison, and we get radar images. In this case, on a quiet day, the radar takes a loop or a pass about every 5 to 6 minutes. They put it into a special faster mode where we get a picture maybe every 2 minutes, and that's what we're seeing here. And now, as you can see, let me zoom back in a little closer. That heavy pink area is now cleared of Allison. In Allison, you're still under the tornado warning. I heard another beep on the computer. Let me double check it. They're surrounding this with a severe thunderstorm warning. I'll get you that in just a second. In Allison, if you're watching or communicating with somebody on the phone, let's stay in your safe place for just another couple of minutes. I think the real big threat, the dangerous part of this, is moved to the east of town. It's going to go across the county border here in just a couple of minutes. But let's stay in your safe place for maybe another 3 to 5 minutes, and we'll give you the all clear when we can do that. Okay. The yellow box popping up is a severe thunderstorm warning that the Weather Service had issued around that. Now we're seeing a funnel, so this is east of town, so there's a report now. We are seeing a funnel on that thing just east of Allison. So that is the next step to the tornado. If the tornado makes it if the funnel makes it to the ground, that would be, in fact, a tornado. I'll come back just while we wait on a new picture for that to our McLean storm right along Interstate 40. The bulk of that heavy rain and hail is moving just to the south now of McLean and 40, but we'll continue generally moving eastward. So Shamrock, you're up next for this. We haven't seen any rotation in this one as of yet, and I don't know that we will, but we're going to watch it very carefully. But Shamrock, you've probably lost the sun if you were getting any. Then you're going to get a little bit of rain. Then the rain's going to pick up in intensity, and you may get some hail. The general trend is east-southeast, but that's still going to be 15 to 20, maybe 25 minutes away to your west. So I keep seeing a pendant on that. Let me just do some analysis on the fly and see if there is any rotation in that, if you'll bear with me. Once again, tornado warning continues for Allison in Wheeler County as the tornado moves quickly toward the Texas-Oklahoma border. There's a new picture, velocity picture. That McLean storm is trying to rotate a little bit. It's fairly weak right now, not real well organized, so certainly nothing to suggest a tornado warning at this moment. New report coming in from the chat. Sheriff's Office, Hemphill did receive call of a funnel cloud north of Allison, and that would have been a few minutes ago, but just getting a report that there was some concern there, so we continue to watch that one as well. Let me back out quite a ways and show you a couple of things. First of all, the rest of the region is fairly quiet. What we're going to watch for a little later on, we see some storms back over the northeastern part of New Mexico, sort of drifting eastward, maybe northeastward. That's where our next little chunk of energy that could produce some storms later on this evening will be coming by. But at this point, it's going to be hard, I think, to generate some new thunderstorms into the northern half of the Panhandle. Not saying that they're not going to pop up, but given a couple of things, and let me show you something else, I think that there's some inhibition, what we call convective inhibition, that will probably hinder thunderstorm development into the evening hours tonight. Still the potential, still want to watch it, but it's not a great setup for a lot of high energy thunderstorms. And one of the reasons I say that, if you look in the middle of the picture, coming right through Amarillo, that kind of snaking greenish blue line there, that's an outflow boundary from the storms that have come through earlier today. It's pushing right toward Interstate 40. It's probably a brief little gust of wind, not a big deal. I've been out in the back of the TV station kind of watching it come. The cloud bases are fairly high, which does not suggest tornadic activity, but it may be a brief gust of wind. But behind that is going to be some slightly cooler, a little bit more stable air, and that will stabilize the atmosphere northern half of the Panhandle for at least a couple of hours. It doesn't, again, preclude new development, but for a couple of hours we've got some slightly cooler, more stable air that should keep us fairly quiet. Still leaving scattered showers, thunder showers in the forecast for tonight. Dave's going to have a full analysis for you coming up on the news at 5 o'clock. Current time is 4:11. Nothing new from the chat. Again, a brief gust of wind along that little boundary heading southward along Interstate 40. That really shouldn't cause too many problems. So that gives us a chance to go back to our Allison storm. And I'm going to put this into dual pane mode, and it may adjust the picture a little bit. Gives us what we're looking at on the right is the velocity product, and that's where we look for rotation in the storm. Red indicates raindrops moving away from the radar, green towards. So we look for areas of bright red next to bright green, and from that you can interpret rotation. The good news is that this has now moved away from Allison, and I think I feel confident in saying if you are paying attention, know somebody who is paying attention in Allison, while technically you're still under the warning, I think it's okay to call all clear for Allison with regard to tornadic activity. If the rain has not stopped, it will in a few minutes. There is no new threat of large hail in Allison. That's the area of purple on the left-hand side of your screen there, and that is, let me just adjust that a little bit so we can get it better. So still potential rotation, but the most dangerous part of this storm is going to be moving out, or across rather, the Texas-Oklahoma border. It's doing it right now, quite frankly. I see a little burst of a pixel, bright pixel in Allison, just on the east side of town. That does not indicate rotation. That does indicate some strong gusty winds on the backside of this. Could that wind go to 30 or 40 miles per hour? Yeah, certainly possible, but I don't think that's going to cause too much trouble. So once again, in Allison, the tornado warning officially goes until 4:30. I feel fairly confident that the Weather Service will probably consider canceling that a few minutes early, since the current time is only 4:13. But the most dangerous part of that storm is moving across the Texas-Oklahoma border, and then we should be done with that one. I also see a little bit of weakening, which is good news on the hail core, but you can see south or southwest, let's call it a radon. That would be potential for some large hail right over the boundary, or over the border rather. New report on the chat, still is a funnel cloud, but as I mentioned a few minutes ago, with this boundary coming in, the outflow boundary, the cloud bases are fairly high. You need to, well, you don't need, you would like to see a cloud base at about 1,000 feet or lower. That's more conducive to a tornado touching down. So the cloud bases, I think, are a little bit above that, especially right out there. So again, the lowering is of concern. The funnel is of concern. The report on the chat suggests that it is weakening a little bit, which is good news as that moves across the Texas-Oklahoma border. So once again, as the rain ends in Allison, I think maybe we'll go for another minute or two or three just to get that hail core over the border. So another scan or two on the radar, and then we'll go ahead and stop the stream. Still have scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for tonight and again tomorrow. The computer forecast models have been helpful, but less than helpful in that what we like to see when each computer model run is some consistency where it says, yes, we see this particular feature and it does this type of thing, but each time the models have run through the last 24 to 36 hours, there's quite a significant change. In fact, a very large change in some of them from run to run. I say we like to see consistency because that helps us make a consistent forecast, but when they jump back and forth a little bit, then it generally means that they don't have a great handle on exactly what is going on, and it makes it a little difficult to forecast. So we leave this 20 to 30% chance for hit and miss showers, thunder showers, and then in the short term we say, okay, we're going to watch this on the 2, 3, 4, 6 hour time frame to see exactly what's going on. So that has been happening as well. So I think what we're going to do, and Caleb, if you want to tell them we're going to stop the stream because that cell has moved across the border into Oklahoma, the most damaging part of it. We're going to call an all clear for any tornadic activity in Allison. That hail continues to move on away. Let me just for a quick check.